Okay, here's something you have to see. You should do a mini review of this. This is America by the new Lando
And so can
Calrissian.
you?
No, this is America, and so can you. No, this is America. It's
It's a
it
movie?
came out. Well, yeah, it's a YouTube music video. Came out
Oh.
on May 5th.
Oh, I think I
And
saw
it's got
it.
80,
I didn't listen to
it's
it,
got
but I saw
it's
it.
got 80 million.
It's really weird.
Yes. So you should watch it, and we should.
I did see it. Well, we could do a review just
Yes,
on
we
it if you want
can. Yes,
to.
we can. Let's do a quick one on that.
Right now?
Sure, why not?
Honey Sound Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Bilko Media Network.
What are your thoughts on this music video?
Well, I don't think he made it for entertainment value. It seems like, it seems like it's there to enact an emotional response, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I don't know what that is.
Is it trying to deliver a message?
there-
And if so, what message do you think it's trying to deliver?
Well, I think there's a lot of themes going on here, but I think the overtone in general is gun violence, right? There's references to various famous mass shootings or what have you, like the church scene.
Yep.
Is clearly a reference to whatever church that was that got shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And even the one in Texas last year. So, I guess the ultimate statement is there's too much gun violence in America.
Did you notice anything about the backup dancers?
Not particularly.
What do you think about their clothes? The clothes in the backup dancers.
I only remember like the students. They were in like student clothes, right?
Yep.
It was like a Gap commercial.
Yep.
And the choir, obviously, but I didn't really notice too much else.
What do you think about the stuff that was happening in the background?
They were all running around. Think much of it, other than it's probably alluding to people running from getting shot.
Yep.
But one thing I'm kind of surprised at is the lack of police in this music video. There aren't any. Whereas I think that's a major theme in today's, dialogue of this topic.
So, there aren't any police officers. There's police cars in the background.
There are? I don't see any.
Mm-hmm. And multiple shots of police cars.
I'm blowing through the video right now. I don't see. Oh, there it
There's
is.
a police cruiser in the background at 222. Yeah, so police cars in the background, but they're not remarked upon. That's another.
No, and first watch through this, right? Like I didn't pick that up. That didn't come out to me.
Do you think that the smiling, happy, uniformed school children dancing in front and the riots going on in the background are they're obviously a juxtaposition? I wonder what you think what that juxtaposition is of
what? School kids walking through a riot?
Well, I'll give away my thing on this. My interpretation is that it's basically this is the vision of Black America as perceived in the foreground, with the reality of what it is to live in Black America in the background. All of the Black characters in the foreground dancing are, very, very smiling, very upbeat, very energetic. They're well dressed, but they're well dressed in a very subdued sort of way. And then everybody is running around. There's smoke in the background. There's chaos, and in front of it all is the lead dancer who walks through life literally getting away with murder and then with like almost complete sociopathicness keeps on dancing and keeps on smiling.
Yeah.
And I think that is America. That is America. This sort of, happy party all the time, club it up, da 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 da, bomb an Afghan hospital, and then we're right back in the club, like that's what, or pull a guy out of a car and then shoot him and leave him in the street, like that's America. I don't think they had any like explicit like police violence in the background here, but I mean, seeing police cars and seeing people running around at least evokes the idea of a riot or looting. I don't know. Am I off? Am I crazy? Am I reading stuff into this?
No, I think your assumptions here. Or did you make this up or did you read this? Because they seem to fit pretty well now that I'm thinking through it. But you said so.
It's probably a combination.
Who's perceiving what? The chaos in the background is perceived as reality for who? America?
As reality for the lived experience of most black people in America. I think like the Donald Glover in the foreground is kind of like a happy, like, I mean, he's literally a movie star at this point, right? But like, I imagine that there are some people who think that because Samuel L. Jackson can get regular work with Marvel, that racism is cured, and the school uniforms is probably, I mean, I don't necessarily know that's like that visible like in the mainstream consciousness, like model black kids wearing, like model clothing and all upbeat and happy. I don't think that's so much in the
the public eye, you mean?
But I think it's a stand-in for like we can all be colorblind now. Slavery's over, like, I mean, then Martin Luther King, he made a speech and Rosa Parks sat down and we stopped racism forever. Like I feel like that's what the foreground people
are saying.
I mean
implying.
It's, that's sort of like what I would maybe call that. It's not as explicit, I think, as the imagery of the psychopathic, smiling, dancing, fun, and then to see him basically at the very end consumed, by like zombies chasing him. Nobody gets out alive. You're only, I don't know. So, the guy in the hood who he shoots in the beginning, I haven't figured out what the symbolism of that is.
What that's supposed to be? I can't, because he's in like a hood, but it's like wrapped. At first, my first impression was, oh, he's a Muslim or something. But I mean, it's not a turban. It's some hood, and he's still black. So I don't know. Thinking through it, I don't know what it is. But at first, my first thought was, oh, this is America shooting Muslims.
I kind of thought that too. He kind of evoked like a Guantanamo thing for me, but
yeah. But I thought, like, for me, it's again first just watching through it and just watching it. My first impression is this is mainly about gun violence. Mm-hmm. There might be a undertone of racism implied here, to your own points, right? But I didn't really get that watching. It was more focused on the gun violence aspect of it.
Yeah, I think it's talking about the overlap between racial gun violence. I mean, the fact that all the people in this who appear in this video are black, like, to me that is a pretty clear indicator. Plus the black church members, I think that is a reference to the
The South Carolina shooting.
yeah,
I'm sure it is.
yeah, that guy who shot up a bunch of. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I want. That's my interpretation. I just wanted to talk to you about it.
Yeah. I mean, you've obviously had more time to think through this than I did, but
Yeah.
I think the undertone themes I think you hit now that I look back at it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a crazy video.
But like what's the message here? Like that's what I'm still kind of drawing a blank on. Like obviously gun violence is bad, but what's the overall message to this? What are we supposed to do because of this video? What's the takeaway?
I don't think it has one. I think it's very nihilist.
And maybe that's why I'm so confused about it, because maybe it doesn't have one.
Yeah.
It's just a statement like this is happening. You know, I don't feel like there is a takeaway. At least I didn't get one out of it.
I don't think that there's a lesson.
Because
I'm
drawing a blank, right? Like, yeah, like what is the lesson? I don't know one. I don't know what this is implying.
I don't know. Thus concludes the review.
This has been a presentation of Honey Sound Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Bilko Media Network.